Hey guys, doing some tournament prep with my local Crix player. We have Deneghra 1 versus Goreshade 4. Slight modifications to my Goreshade 4 list, but I believe this is somewhat meta, common meta Goreshade 4 list. So, I have the pleasure of going first. Between my opponent's pairing, we decided that Ghost Fleet was going to have the best play into it because it should be minimally affected by Goreshade 4's feat, because who cares about pirates? And yeah. So I go up the board. I put Dauntless Resolve on the right Sentinels because I'm thinking that I'll have these Sentinels protected behind the clouds for most of the game, and the clouds in the house. So it's the ones on the right that are going to be needing it more. So that's the reasoning behind that upkeep. And yeah, so I just get up the board. I am intentionally within 13 of that Stalker because I would love him to commit that Stalker to me right now, so I can take care of it and get it out of my way instead of later when it's a huge pain in my butt under feet and all kinds of other stuff. So his list, he does not take that bait, however. Instead, he puts himself out of 11 of my Trident and just kind of scoots around the side of the board. He gets Deneghra up in a very aggressive position, and the rest of his army kind of comes up. His key unit leaders are hidden in far back places, like behind that house, so I'm not going to be able to eliminate any units with random shooting. So I temporarily debate an assassination run, because I can charge this incorporeal wraithe or machine wraith. I won't be able to attack it, but it'll allow me to take shots at Deneghra. What I'm debating is apparating and running my Chimera up to here and trying to get line of sight to I can't target the objective, but trying to get a Light of Wrath onto Deneghra to take away her stealth, and then having Eiryss come over here and Disruptor Bolt Deneghra, and then having the Trident shoot her to death. If it fails, I just lose Eiryss, a Chimera, and a Trident, and I put up one less cloud type of deal, or two less clouds. So not, I mean, it seems worth it, but when I actually start doing the proxy bases, I've played a lot of Ron, so I proxy base the crap out of things before I go to it. You know, ask, does he have countercharge? Does he have things that are going to screw this whole assassination up before I go to it? And in that process, I find I don't have really a good place for the Chimera to land, that it won't block line of sight to Deneghra for the Trident. And also, I don't have a good model I can take a shot at with the Light of Wrath to land it on Deneghra. Looking at things now, I should have just been aiming for this girl right here from right about there, and trying to zing it through there and catch her. And then the Trident could shoot around the side of this, and Eiryss can shoot like that. I did not see that when I was there, and clock was ticking down, so I abandoned the assassination run. Now I'm having regrets, but that's okay. I've played against Ghost Fleet before, and I look at it as a kind of like moving terrain. The pirates are a little bit slower now, so you want to just trim them back a little bit. You don't want them up in your face on feet turn. You want to trim them back enough. There is value to killing them. There is value to killing them. You want to kill the unit leaders and have them trade out their unit leaders till they get their unit leader on the back line, so they'll be recurring their new models on the back line. And you're just throwing away your models to push them back until after Deneghra's feet turn, because that's really when the list gets a lot of work done. So using ghost snipers and other things, I start trimming back these pirates that are out kind of aggressively. And then I decide that I want to see if I can get him to pop feet, but not land a single spell on any of my Sentinels, and not kill Imperitus or the Trident or anything, basically. I want to see if I can get him, and the way I can do this, I decide that Goreshade 4 is not going to put out any clouds. Instead, he's going to put an extra focus on Imperitus, an extra focus on Chimera, and I'm going to put Imperitus surrounded by Sentinels all over the place over here behind this house. It's symbiotic. It's a symbiotic relationship in that Imperitus with 2 arcane vortexes can protect them from being parasited or crippling grasp, and they can protect him by blocking landing spots for that Stalker to land on top of him. Because just with feet and my mini feats up, I don't think the pirates can actually shoot down very many of my Sentinels at all. And then I do the same thing behind this wall over here with a Chimera, and I just kind of set up there in this formation that I'm going to show you right here, where there's nowhere really for the Stalkers to land. And if he can't land any of his offensive spells, I don't think Deneghra can do enough on her feat turn to trim the Sentinels. And that sounds pretty good to me. I do pop both my mini feats because with Ghost Shot, there's nowhere really I can hide. If he wants to shoot out my officers so I can't mini feat next turn and then hold his feet, that'd be really bad for me. So I figured now's the time. I do that. I also try and set up a wall so that I can start scoring this flag with my Sentinel Scyir. And Force Barrier goes on both units of Sentinels, hoping between defense and offense, or armor and defense, they should live. Goreshade, I have decided, is not going to be putting up clouds for the rest of the game. I have to respect the assassination run, so if he can't debuff me because of Arcane Vortex, and I have plenty of focus, even under feet, I don't think he's going to be able to shoot me to death, especially if I stay back. I have to respect those guns. Staying true to the skill sheets that I'm going to be talking about later. So he looks at all this, sees my mini feats, and is like, well, I'm not in a hurry. Takes Deneghra, backs her up, and then just pirates, and just starts sending pirates in all over the place and charging into Machine Wraith because he doesn't think I have any magical weapons over there. This Night Wretch comes over and sprays down. I can't remember if it's a Night Wretch or a Defiler, but yeah, it sprays down this Ghost Sniper. And he tries to position him. He doesn't kill a single Sentinel. He intentionally does not kill any Sentinels because he looks at my piles and thinks, if I don't kill any Sentinels, he can't go anywhere, really. These Sentinels can charge out to here, so I won't put anything there. But then I'll just flood some dudes over here, and the Sentinels over here can just waste attacks, smacking on dudes and break up that formation. Board looks like this. I'm proud of him. I felt like that was a pretty good decision he made. So, my turn. I don't know how much longer I can do this because I feel like eventually he's going to get the opening he wants. I don't have an assassination attempt. I'm not strained or stressed to break out of this situation, but I do want to score some points, and I also have an opportunity. It's hard to see now, but if I charge a dude over here, put my Trident over here, I can shoot down that back guy and the rest of this unit and kill a whole unit of pirates. And anytime you can kill a whole unit of pirates, I recommend doing so, because taking away the recursion of the list is going to have massive ripple effects down the line, especially before feat turn on attrition. So that's what the Trident does. And then my Sentinels and my Chimeras start killing off the solos over here. Artificer comes up and kills the Machine Wraith, which was extremely necessary to make it so that the Machine Wraith, I can start scoring this flag. Also, there are some people over here you can't see that are jamming me in. They're out of formation and they're incorporeal, so Trident just flies right over them and doesn't take any free strikes. So I will score this flag. Woot woot. And Dauntless Resolve is still up on them. I take my Chimera, knowing that this is going to be a feat turn, pull Chimera back, because either one or two things is going to happen. Chimera's job in this game is either to assassinate the caster when Goreshade has a crap ton of spells, or Chimera's job is to go kill a whole bunch of pirates and deep dig out by slinging a whole bunch of spells from Goreshade. I don't think I can protect my Sentinels again. Same type of deal. And then this whole pile over here does the same deal and just shifts all the way over here, and all those Sentinels are protected by Imperitus. I intentionally put an Arcanist so it's 12 inches away from this flag, so that I can run it next turn and score that flag should I need to. And I'm basically, if he's going to pop feet, he's going to be able to kill all these Sentinels over here, but he won't be able to do anything about the blue Sentinels on the left. I'm trying to put more skin in the game to get a feat. I killed a whole unit on the right, and I'm going to either lose my Trident for nothing, or I can try and get a feat out and have my feet up to get a crap ton of souls. And this is where we end on that turn. So he's looking at this, he's weighing over his options, and he thinks about it, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to skew aside. I'm going to kill everything over here, and I'm going to just jam and make this whole unit worthless and not kill any Sentinels. But, you know, let's say, in his head, he was I could see him talking about it, and he was thinking about it and talking about it. If everything goes amazing over here and I can kill like 4 or 5 Sentinels, I'll probably kill 4 or 5 Sentinels, because under feet, they're not getting a whole lot of work done. So to start things off, Deneghra comes up to pop feet, and she walks up to the Sentinel, and she's about ready to hit him. She's thinking, haha, I can get a soul and stuff. And then we have the conversation of, are you sure you want Deneghra to be in front of my entire army stationaried? And once I put it that way, he's like, no, I really do not. So he does not kill that Sentinel, but he does indeed put Parasite on this unit of Sentinels over here. That's when the fun begins, because Gorton, he's starting to do the math, and he's like, whoa, Trident's actually pretty dang survivable. So Gorton comes up and throws a blind bomb on the Trident, and the Trident is now blind, which means it has to forfeit a combat action, can't make ranged attacks. It has to forfeit either combat or movement, can't make ranged attacks, and has -4 mat, rat, and defense or something like that. So it's basically worthless not being able to make ranged attacks. Stalker comes over here and hits somebody and becomes stationary, and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot that's what your feat does. Slight mistake, kills the Artificer, whatever. Incorporeal dude walks over here and just starts shooting people. Then all the cannons and all the other rifles just start shooting Sentinels to death. Oh, and Deneghra's camping 5. Because I have counter-assassinated Deneghra a great many times, and he is respectful enough to me to not give me that assassination run easily. Goreshade over here is camping like 5 or 6, and he does actually debate the assassination run, starts doing the math, and it says like, no, that's horrible. And that's how he ended up on this plan of crushing this whole right side. So to make things really short, he kills all but 2 Sentinels. And doesn't kill my Scyir because he thought my Scyir was a Sentinel, which, I mean, makes sense because they're pretty similarly painted when you're comparing my solo, this guy, to my regular unit. About the only thing that's different is the cape, and he just looks slightly beefier. Kind of deceptive, unintentional, felt bad about that. I get a lot of tough rolls, which really, really helps me. Honestly, he could have done a lot more if I didn't. I toughed like 6 or 7 times. But yeah. Then over here, he just rams pirates into my face. And yep, score is still 1-1. No, it is 2-1 because he is now scoring this flag, and I have scored this once. And we have a turn that is like this. Goreshade 4, however, collected a crap ton of souls. I want to say it was like 10 or 11 souls. So, vengeance attacks between these guys kill off... oh, Chimera was stationary because the pistol wraith shot it twice because he thought that was funny. Because he wanted to take away some of my tools. Trident is absolutely worthless to me right now. It's just a dead piece it's a piece that's gonna be sitting there for the rest of the game. I'll probably fly it over in the way. But I'm looking at this now like I have 2 options. I continue playing the game from my left, pushing that way, or I go for the assassination, and Chimera would come forward, and I would be throwing out spells on attrition. Maybe kill off that unit, maybe kill off that unit, and possibly, it's a big if, kill off another unit. That's a big if, though. I think about that some and decide that I don't really like that. I get out my odds machine, my buyer boost app, and I start going through an assassination run using Light of Wrath on Deneghra. I kill a little bit of clock doing it, but the idea is that I give a focus to Chimera. Chimera shakes stationary, runs up, and is within 8 or 5 of Deneghra. Throws out a Light of Wrath onto her, boosted to hit, and then after that, I just need 7 dead Light of Wraths, and I have like 6 Light of Wraths I can do. And I'm doing this assassination run. Odds seem okay. I realize that Parasite is giving her +1 armor on these 2 Sentinels. So before this assassination run happens, my Sentinels run. They can run now under Deneghra feet. Super cool. Over to there. And these Sentinels come over and kill them, so that Parasite is no longer giving Deneghra +1 armor. And then the rest of these Sentinels come and bop stuff to get it out of the way, and they leave room for Imperitus. Oh, last turn when Imperitus was in the middle of this, he shot Agrimony, boosted a hitter, but then he didn't roll. He rolled a 2 on 2 dice and left her on 1 box exactly. It was dice +2. What a bummer. Imperitus was hopefully going to be able to walk up and shoot Deneghra, but it just didn't really work out. I also wanted to clear room so that Eiryss could come and shoot Deneghra with a Phantom Seeker shot. So, hold on, I gotta pause this. My dog is flipping out. And we are back. She just wanted to bark. Apparently, she just still wants to bark. I start mathing out the assassination run and getting rid of Parasite. I gotta pause it again. Okay, and we are back. So, I go up for the Light of Wrath, and I do some rough calculations in my head, and it sounds, to me, it makes more sense to boost a hit and boost damage. Since she has as many shaves as I have attacks, I need to be getting through her shaves. At dice -1 with shaves, it should actually be pretty doable. So I start going at it. The damage is chunking away really nicely with the Chimera and the Light of Wraths, and I get to a spot where I miss a boosted to hit, a 7, and then I get to a spot where she has, I want to say it's like 6 boxes left or something like that, and a shave, and I have 4 focus. So I decide that if I boost a hit a Light of Wrath, I then have to roll a 12 on 2 dice. But if I don't boost a hit the Light of Wrath and I hit the natural 7, average dice 7, average dice because dice work that way. Bleh, not really. If I hit that 7, I can then boost damage, and there's a chance I roll a 12. It's not a great chance, but I mean, it's a chance. So it works out perfectly. I roll an 8 or something like that, and then I roll a 12 and kill her to the box. Out of curiosity, I walk Eiryss over, take a Phantom Hunter shot at her, hit her, and I roll like an 11 on 2 dice again, and I kill Eiryss that way. So the assassination worked out for me. I feel like that actually was the better play. Even if I had failed, my backup plan would have been, since she's so badly damaged, to move Goreshade to a little bit of a safer spot and just try and start pushing up aggressively over here on the side and start making a scenario attrition play, since I would be scoring over here and I wouldn't be completely lost on my left-hand side. And yeah, it was a tough decision. It worked out for me this time. It doesn't always work out for me, but I want to show you the math behind it and something that would have made my decision easier. Let's see if I can find all these pictures I have. Nope, none in there. Oh yeah, they're with TJ. That's right. So here's what happens. This is the assassination run if I don't boost to hit any of the Light of Wraths. So I made the right choice boosting. Here's if I roll to hit the natural 7s and boost the damage rolls. It's a 60% assassination run. That's actually pretty good. Here's the assassination run if I boost attack and I boost damage rolls, which I sort of did. It worked out halvesies about that. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's 70% is a pretty good assassination run. Now, I was somewhere in between the 60 and the 70% for my actual assassination run. However, there's a way I could have made it. Oh, and this is if I didn't take off Parasite. If I didn't take off Parasite, it would have been a 50% assassination run. Here's my optimum assassination run that I did not realize while I was playing. After I hit that first boosted to hit and boosted damage Light of Wrath, I then throw on Hand of Ice, boosting to hit, for 2 for Hand of Ice and another to boost to hit, and that drops her armor by 2. And because I'm trying to get through shaves, The following attacks just have way more chance of getting significant damage through shaves, and that increases my assassination run to an 88.6%. So in this game, am I still rolling? Yes, I am still rolling. In this game, I want to go to my skill sheet and I want to talk about what things kind of led to my victory, what things could have been done better. I was aware of the main models and faction, and I feel like I kind of played around what they did pretty well on the list. I utilized Arcane Vortex in my survivability. I was aware of scenario. I grabbed ground and did not lose ground. And against a somewhat strong scenario, overtime scenario, and somewhat strong overtime attrition list, I feel like I was able to weather his feat pretty well. I don't know if I would have been able to maintain that scenario if you were looking at line 10 right here, able to pressure scenario strong enough to win on scenario or by points on turn 7. I don't know if that would have worked out for me with that last decision I made of going for assassination. And that's kind of a difficult one. I also would have been very vulnerable to assassination after that assassination run, and it might have actually just been a good idea to camp my 4 focus and not get assassinated and play the rest of the game that way. I still think going that last bit of distance was the right move because I had Eiryss still in the wings, and she was going to be taking a shot at Deneghra with no camp on her, because I had burned through it all with Goreshade. Basic understanding of what win conditions to pursue. I began the game thinking I'm going to try attrition in a scenario, and I was able to correctly switch over to assassination once attrition in scenario became less likely, and I felt like I had a better than average assassination run. I did a great job of not giving him assassination runs. I was very selfish with my focus on Goreshade 4. My opponent was made good decisions as well as what to do with his focus and camping and his positioning. He even kind of threatened me that turn 2 by getting Deneghra way up there and was wise to back off when it didn't happen. I was doing good on clock. I could have beaten my opponent on clock because after his feat turn, he had almost no time left on clock, and there was still lots of game left to play, and I still had a good amount of models on the board. But since this is a practice game and a lot of the game would have been robbed by not playing it, I decided I did not want that as a win condition, and we were going to keep playing even though he would have clocked out. I was kind of slow, but I actually stuck to my 15-minute alpha budget. That assassination run pretty much was my alpha. I moved pretty quickly from there. I do feel like I played around his control feat pretty well by making it so that if he was to pop feat, he wasn't able to get the full output that he wanted due to my Arcane Vortex setup and putting every model of the Sentinels within 3 inches. And also protecting Imperitus, who, I mean, he just shot things. He never really did anything all game long. I was waiting to unleash Imperitus. I needed the Stalkers to die, and I needed the feats to go down. And then you just always need to camp so that Deneghra would have to blow her whole load to get a debuff on Imperitus so that stuff could actually kill it. I set up very well for scenario to score scenario. I had my solos in position to contest and all game long zipping something in onto his flag, and I always had a scenario, a solo that was within my flag. For the 3 or 4 turns of the game went on, I had a dude that was ready to go score that flag. I had Imperitus on the left to score the left, and I had Chimera on the right to score the right. So did pretty well as that. I feel like I was a good clean player. My opponent was a good clean player. Everything was proxied that needed to be proxied. If it was an easy move to make, like that's clearly 6 inches, or it was below 6 inches, just move there. There was no questions asked. I don't think there was any takebacks. There was some debate on the Deneghra getting stationary by that one model, but it was a clear lapse that was discussed and agreed upon and worked out. Yeah. I feel like I stuck to the majority of my of the skill sheet that I wanted to, that I'm trying to set for myself for this game. That being said, it's hard for me to say that I played a good game when I'm in this situation where assassination is my best option. Yeah, it's a pretty good assassination run, but if you're trying to climb through a tournament, like and make it to day 2 of a tournament, you don't want to have 5 games where you have 5 80% assassination runs, because one of those 5 games you're going to lose. Scenario is the #1 reliable method of winning the game, and finding ways to correctly position for scenario and doing attrition and that type of stuff and building redundancy into attrition. The reason why I like Ron and why I feel very comfortable going with Ron assassinations runs is there's like one key roll that's extremely likely, and if that one key roll hits, the redundancy after that one roll is extremely likely. There's just so many different ways of achieving the same goal of killing the caster. And that's why Ron has Puppet Master, has Arcane Secrets on Silas. So that one super important roll where I need to hit like a 5, I have a reroll with 4 dice, drop whichever one I want. I really skew that like like hitting a defense 13 so I can TK and then force hammer it into their caster or something like that. I have the tools to make that extremely reliable. But back to what I was saying, it's hard for me to say that I played a solid game when it depends on this situation. And I would like to go back and think about this a little bit more for myself. Chimera can only run 8 inches. Chimera was right here. It apparated 2 to right here. So Chimera's position after the apparition is somewhere in this area right here. With that type of an advance, and I do not regret putting Chimera back there. Chimera lived because I put Chimera back there, and a lot of things could not shoot Chimera. With Chimera getting somewhere in this, and my 8-inch spell slinging, do I have what it takes to win the game from there? Because do I have the resources to get rid of Gorman? So that Trident can actually play the game. And after Gorman, Deneghra is just going to use that that crit Shadow Bind on the Trident for the rest of the game. So Trident is really kind of a liability that's very difficult to free up at this point. Can I actually get my Sentinels and Imperitus to push through this? Without guns, I don't think so. I don't think without gun support of some kind, I don't think Imperitus and the Sentinels are going to push through this mass, because I will never deep dig out the whole units. And he will just constantly be throwing models into my faces. And then when it's time to kill a crap ton of Sentinels, he will kill a crap ton of Sentinels, which will trigger Vengeance. And then I will clear the front layer of pirates, but then I won't be able to get past the second layer of pirates, and I still won't kill his full units. So I actually am not a big fan of that. Also, he's not giving me this Stalker. It was driving me so crazy. He kept asking me, so I was like, how come you haven't moved Imperitus forward? He's like, well, I don't want to just die to a Grievous Wound Stalker on feet turn and with a feat or something. I was like, oh, so if I just keep the Stalker here, you don't bring Imperitus forward. And it's like, well, kind of, yeah. Pretty annoying, actually. So I do actually feel like he had me controlled really well over here. And honestly, I bet if I played this out, I don't think it goes that great. I think I lose this whole side of the board. Because pretty soon, the Trident starts getting parasited, and the Pistol Wraiths and Kane start walking into its back arc and just shooting it to death. Because an armor 15 Trident, let's say he throws on Rust 2 to make it armor 13, is not going to last very long against POW 12s, especially like 6 of them. That's one turn of it, it's just dead. And that's not even very hard for him to do. And he has so much other redundancy to take it the rest of the way. So trying to free up the Trident is probably just a waste of space, and his control of the Trident was excellent. But anyhow, I am talking way too long. Let me know what you guys think about reviewing games using the skill sheets, what things you would like to see added to the skill sheets. Thanks for watching, guys.